You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Sing with me. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with again. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. If you're feeling jazzy this morning at all, you can sing the other part of the chorus. It goes like this. You gotta put one foot, love. You gotta put one foot, and lead with love. You gotta put
one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
You gotta put
one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
It's battery.
One foot in front of the other and lead.
Now this is call and response. Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Don't you give in.
Don't you give in.
Keep moving on.
Keep moving on. We
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Put one foot in front of the other
and lead with love.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
You gotta put
One foot in front of the other
and lead with love. Lift up your eyes.
Lift up your eyes.
Don't you despair.
Don't you despair.
Don't you give in.
Don't you give in.
The path is there.
The path is there.
You gotta put
one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
You gotta put
One foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
You gotta put
One foot in front of the other and lead with love.
I know you're scared.
I know you're scared.
Yeah, I'm scared too.
Yeah, I'm scared too.
But here we are,
But here we are,
right next to you.
right next to you.
You gotta put one foot
in front of the other and lead with love.
You gotta put
One foot in front of the other
and lead with love. You gotta put
one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
You gotta put
One foot in front of the other
and
lead with love.
you gotta put
One foot in front of the other and lead with love.
You gotta put
One foot in front of the other
and lead with love. And lead with love. Last time.
and lead with
Good morning.
Welcome to the UU Church of the South Hills, also known as Sunnyhill. We are delighted that you could join us for this service. Our mission at Sunnyhill is to create a more just and compassionate community within and beyond our walls. My name is Rebecca Senaway, and I serve as a worship associate for this congregation. If you're a newcomer or a visitor to our congregation, please go to sunnyhill.org and click on the button that says New to Sunnyhill, and you'll receive more information about our congregation and can sign up to receive our weekly email newsletter. If you're joining us online today, please say hello or good morning in the comments on Facebook or YouTube. We'd like to hear from you and extend a welcome to you as well. A general reminder to everyone to please silence your cell phones or other electronic devices so we can enjoy the service uninterrupted. Today's sermon is titled Sanctuary. In the wake of this week's elections, many of us are feeling a deep need to be held in loving community, to acknowledge our grief, and to discern what we are to do next. This week's service will focus on the concept of sanctuary as a place of respite from the whirlwind of fear and hatred, as a place of resistance to the dominant culture of greed and bigotry, and as a place of renewal where we might find the strength to work for real and meaningful change in our world. Our opening words were written by Beth Swinicki. As we gather together this morning, may we learn to recognize and affirm the pieces of possibility, the bits of good we bring. May we encourage rather than control, love rather than possess, enable rather than envy, allowing our individual gifts to weave a patchwork of peace, the soft, deep blue of sensitivity and understanding, the red energy of creativity, the white heat of convictions, the risky, fragile green of new growth, the golden flashes of gratitude, the warm rose of love. Each of us is indispensable if we are to minister to a broken and wounded world. Together, in our gathered diversity, we form the whole. Please join me in saying the words to light our chalice. We call forth the light of our faith by kindling our chalice. This spark of new beginnings invites us into a sacred space to reflect on where we have been and where we are going.
Please rise and body your spirit to join in singing our opening hymn, Gather the Spirit.
Gather the Spirit. For today's Time for All Ages, we are going to stay comfy, cozy in our seats and be able to see the pictures up on the screens. Friends, there are so many things I want to say this morning to all of you here. I want to share stories of resistance and hope and justice, stories of love and kindness. All of those things are so important. But what I want you to know right now in this moment is that you matter and you are loved. So today's story is called Repeat After Me, Big Things to Say Every Day. Let's get started. I am worthy. You are filled with goodness, knowledge, and worth, more precious than all the diamonds found here on earth. I am loved. From the tip of your nose to your baby soft skin, I love your heart and your smile and all that's within. I am deserving. You should know simply because you are here, you deserve every good thing, both far and near. I am brave. You are courageous, gutsy, and a little bit daring, and sometimes your bravery means being kind and caring. I am important. You're here for a purpose. Your life has great meaning. Believe in yourself and never stop dreaming. I am strong. It isn't just muscles that will make you strong. Brains and courage will both serve you lifelong. I am light. A room filled with darkness can be a very scary place. With the light inside of you, the darkness is replaced. I am gifted. Capable, artistic, creative, and bright. You are destined for greatness, a remarkable life. I am cherished. Just as the dawn of each day is wondrous and new, the most valuable treasure you have is you. I am unique. Like a beautiful snowflake, you are one of a kind, from your laugh to your heart to your beautiful mind. I am enough. All that you need is already within you, a life filled with purpose and dreams to pursue. I am ready. You are filled with strength, love, and might. Boldly go forth and shine your light. Now, I'm asking you all to repeat after me. I am worthy.
I am worthy.
I am loved. I am deserving.
I am deserving.
I am brave.
I am brave.
I am important.
I am important.
I am strong.
I am strong.
I am light.
I am light.
I am gifted.
I am gifted.
I am cherished.
I am cherished.
I am unique.
I am unique.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am ready.
I am ready.
Yes, you are. You are all of those things, and so much more. Friends, look around at all of us here in this room. These folks care about you. They support you. You matter, and you are loved. Following the service, there will be art supplies and fellowship hall. Everyone is invited to share messages of love and support. And now let's sing the children to our RE classes.
As you go, may joy
Surround you as you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go, as you go, may joy surround you as
The song that the choir is about to sing is one that we've been working on for a couple of months now. And this is the challenge of picking music for a choir for a Sunday morning when you don't know what's going to be happening that Sunday morning, where people will be at, and how it's going to land. So the song is called Words That We Hold Tight. It was arranged by our Carol Carl. And it is, at its theme, is about forgiveness. It's about befriending difficult feelings and forgiving. So I invite you to let that sink in, or put it in your back pocket for a later time, for when you're ready for that to sink in, or not. Take what you need, leave what you need, okay? All right.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Terry Alvaray, and I'm a member of Sunnyhill's pastoral care team. Our mission is to reach out to members of the congregation who are going through challenging or significant life events, whatever they may be. The pastoral care team focuses on the compassionate part of our congregation's mission to create a more just and compassionate community within and beyond our walls. Our commitment to the congregation is to support those going through a life crisis, maintain contact with those unable to attend church due to illness or disability, to support friends and family involved in caregiving, to comfort the bereaved, to comfort and support each other. If you would like to be contacted by a member of our team, you can reach out to us directly, or you can fill out a confidential yellow caring card found in our entrance hall and place it in the black mailbox that we have for that purpose, and we will follow up with you as you request. Each week at this time, we share joys and sorrows submitted by members of the congregation. Joys and sorrows may be submitted online on our website, sunnyhill.org, or by filling out a paper form in the entrance hall or completing the yellow caring card. After each joy and sorrow I read, please respond by saying, "We hold you in our hearts." We have a joy from Joe Shaughnessy, who, for those who do not know, is the president of the UU Pittsburgh cluster. I will be so much happier once this week passes. We are nearing the end of the cluster year, and it has been a trying one. In 6 days, the 2024 Cluster Assembly at the UU Church of the North Hills on Saturday, November 16th, from 8:30 to 3 will be over. Joe will be around between services today if you want to register for the assembly, learn about the board, the cluster, and how one might want to get involved. Thanks all. For Joe, we hold you in our hearts. Another joy from Joe. My niece Addison is the stage manager for the production of Little Shop of Horrors at West Allegheny High School. Last show is today at 2 p.m. I'm really proud of these kids, I should say young men and women. They really have their stuff together, way more than me. For Joe, for Addison, and for the young men and women of West Allegheny High School, we hold you in our hearts. We have a joy and sorrow from Elizabeth and Tom Scanlon. Our son Doug was in a serious motorcycle accident on Tuesday when a driver pulled out in front of him. He was hospitalized with broken ribs and vertebrae. We are grateful that his helmet and Kevlar bodysuit protected him. For Elizabeth and Tom and their son Doug, we hold you in our hearts. We have a joy and sorrow from Kristen Duncan. Because of the election, my fiance and I have decided to move our wedding to be prior to the inauguration. Although I am overjoyed to marry her, I no longer feel safe enough to pursue our original date in the fall of 2026. For Kristen and her fiance, we hold you in our hearts. For the joys and sorrows that are unspoken today, as we sing our musical meditation, we invite anyone who feels moved to do so to please come forward, light a candle, place it in the sand, and then return to your seats.
I am finding my way. I am finding my way. I am finding my way back to now. I am finding my way. I am finding my way. I am finding my way back to now. I am finding my way. to now. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, which was originally established as Armistice Day in 1926 to honor members of the armed forces who were killed during World War I. The holiday was renamed in 1954 to honor all U.S. veterans. Many of us in this community are veterans or children or parents of veterans or have loved ones who may be serving currently in the military. We have our American flag on display out front in observance of this holiday. This particular Veterans Day is made more complicated by the fact that our nation just re-elected as president a man who evaded military service, not in an honorable way as a conscientious objector, but in a dishonorable way by using his father's money and influence to feign a medical condition. This same man has time and again shown his cynical disrespect for veterans and their families. We, as a nation, must do better than our president-elect. On this day, let us honor all veterans and acknowledge the vital contributions they have made, the terrible hardships that many of them have experienced, and the daunting challenges that they and their families continue to face. I light a candle in their honor. Please join me in the spirit of meditation or prayer. In times like these, grief can seem all-enveloping. Anguish can seem to press down like a giant boulder on our souls. Fear can seem to roll like thunder through our troubled minds and our broken hearts. In times like these, our aloneness can seem more real than any togetherness we can imagine, and our sorrow greater than any possible joy. In times like these, we find it's hard just doing the things we do every day, working, sleeping, thinking. In times like these, it's easy to lose our way. Let us take a moment of silence to feel what we are feeling, not to wallow in misery, but to let these feelings wash over us, to feel and hold together what we cannot hold alone. There is something on the other side of grief, something else that lies further down the path, past fear and anguish and sorrow and brokenheartedness. But the only way to get there is to start right where we are, taking one step at a time, finding whatever solace we can in the company of others whom we love and who love us. The only way to get there is to remember to breathe, to remember that after this moment, another will come, to remember that however hopeless we might be, hope will return, its feathers ruffled and torn, flying perhaps a little bit lower, but flying still just over there. May we face our current reality as squarely as we can. May we grieve well and fully. May we be open to hope when it flutters our way. Amen. It's good to have a reminder every now and then about why it is that we gather together as a church, why it is that we are here as a progressive religious community, why we exist. For me, the events of this past week, painful and heartbreaking as they were and still are, might serve as just a reminder. In the wake of this week's elections, so many people are feeling disheartened, discouraged, dejected, pained, confused, anguished, and hopeless. So many of us see the results of the elections as an outright rejection of some of our most important and cherished values based in love and justice. I know that abject fear may be the root cause of the many expressions of hatred that we saw throughout this election cycle. But knowing that fear is to blame doesn't make it any easier to bear, and it doesn't make it right. Every person has a choice to make. When you are filled with fear, when your way of life and your livelihood feel threatened, will you choose the path of hatred, the path of blaming and othering every group of people who are different from you, who have different skin color, different religious beliefs, different nationalities and ethnicities, different sexualities and gender expressions? Or, when you are filled with fear, will you reach out to others, trying to build bridges when you can, recognizing that at the end of the day, we really are all in this together, and that the things that bind us together, like love and compassion and a yearning for justice, are more important than any of the many divisions we have created and maintained for so long. It seems that in this week's election, a little more than half of the electorate chose the former path, the path of division, fear, and hatred, rather than the latter. In the end, I believe this election was about lived moral values, or the lack thereof, and how we choose to respond to fear. But we need a place, a body of people, an institution that reminds us of those values and why it is important to live into them. And this church, at its best, is just such a place. It's perhaps the most important reason for our existence. Sanctuary comes from the Latin word sanctuarium, meaning a sacred place or a private room. In non-ecclesiastical usage, it has come to mean a place of refuge or protection. Beginning in the early 4th century, during the reign of the Roman Emperor Constantine, fugitives from the law, or debtors, who found shelter in the sanctuary of a church were immune from arrest and punishment. As we think of the idea of sanctuary in our own time, it can, first of all, be a place of respite from the whirlwind of fear and hatred, a place of shelter and renewal, especially for those who are particularly vulnerable, those who are oppressed and marginalized. Secondly, it can be a place of active resistance to the dominant culture of hatred and bigotry, a place where together we work to right the wrongs that we see all around us. So on one hand, sanctuary can be a place of shelter, especially for the most vulnerable in our society. And on the other hand, sanctuary can be a place of action with the aim of restoring justice. There's a powerful piece of Midrash that explains or explores these two aspects of sanctuary. Midrash is a Jewish tradition of extrapolating from biblical text and the literal stories that they contain to arrive at a deeper meaning. It's a way of going beyond merely the literal meaning of Scripture to explore and find its deeper spiritual meaning. This particular piece of Midrash, as described by Howard Schwartz, suggests the name of God's right hand is just, and the name of the left is holy. Sometimes God uses one hand to create something, and sometimes both hands. This idea is based upon particular scripture passages. For example, God used only one hand to call forth a holy mountain written of in the book of Psalms, as there's a verse that refers to the mountain his right hand had acquired. But some things, including human beings and the temple, were created with both of God's hands, as evidenced in other passages from the Hebrew Bible that specifically mention both hands being used. So one of the points of the Midrash is that some of the most important creations, humankind and the temple, for example, were created with both hands, were formed using both the right hand called just and the left hand called holy. When we create a sanctuary, we need to use both of our hands to create a space, a container that is equal parts sacred refuge and place of healing, and a place of justice-making and resistance. Both hands are needed in creating and sustaining sanctuary. Our physical sanctuary here at Sunnyhill successfully embodies both aspects of sanctuary. It is a place of quiet contemplation, of renewal, of finding hope among one another, a place of safety for those who are threatened and vulnerable. But it is also outward facing, oriented toward the precarious beauty of the natural world and the challenges that lie just beyond our windows, challenges having to do with injustice in the world beyond our walls. But even more important than the physical sanctuary we have created, we are working to create through our words, our promises, and our actions, sanctuary in the larger sense of the word, a place where the just and the holy meet, a place where, in the words of the 85th Psalm, righteousness and peace will kiss each other. Righteousness and peace, just and holy, prophecy and prayer are brought together when we create a space of sanctuary with both of our hands. Sanctuaries have been the settings for some significant historical occurrences, events that have changed the course of history, occasions when the just and the holy have come together, moments when righteousness and peace have kissed. For example, one such moment took place in December of 1955 in the sanctuary of the Holt Street Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama, the site of the first meeting of the Montgomery Improvement Association. It was just a few days after the arrest of Rosa Parks for refusing to give up her bus seat to a white passenger. It was at this meeting that Ralph Abernathy introduced a resolution to boycott the city bus system, which became one of the seminal moments of the civil rights movement. At this same meeting, Martin Luther King Jr. delivered what would become a famous speech. This small church in a black working class neighborhood of Montgomery was filled to overflowing. The crowd included newspaper reporters and radio and television crews. Hundreds of people were gathered outside the church, listening to the proceedings through loudspeakers. As he prepared for this event, King knew that he had to balance two competing sentiments that were in the air. On one hand, there was a moral fervor that had been aroused, an almost militant urgency to act. On the other hand, there was a need to make sure that this will to act was grounded in something larger and more unifying than mere militancy. And so King spoke of action grounded in love, the love of the Christian Gospels, which compel us to love one another, to love even our enemies. But King said, it is not enough to talk about love alone. He said, while love is one of the pivotal points of the Christian faith, there is another side called justice. And justice is really love in calculation. Justice is love correcting that which revolts against love. What King was doing in the sanctuary of the Holt Street Baptist Church was using both the right hand, called just, and the left hand, called holy, to call into being a way of taking action which recognizes that love, the holiest of holies, and justice, working for human rights and human dignity, are two sides of the same coin. And from that moment, a movement was born, a movement that was fueled by the holy call of love and the righteous work of justice, both hands working together to create something enormously powerful and ultimately transformational. As I mentioned in a service we held here Wednesday night, there are three prophetic imperatives. Reality, meaning facing reality as squarely as you can without flinching. Grief, recognizing and feeling the deep sadness we often experience when we see the reality of our situation. And hope, finding ways as we can to live into the world that we want to bring into being. After the reality of our current situation has begun to sink in, after we have let our grief find its way into our bones to strengthen our resolve, then it will be time to move into our main task, which is finding hope. And specifically finding hope by discerning our answer to this question posed by the poet Mary Oliver: how will we love this world? How will we find our way toward loving a world that at this moment may seem utterly cloaked in darkness? How will we find the strength and the sense of renewal we need to keep loving the world, even when the world does not seem to love us much in return? How will we dare to love in the midst of so much hate. When we create a place of sanctuary, whether it's in the form of an actual physical space or spiritual space or something more like a state of mind, we are creating a container in which all three of these prophetic imperatives can be experienced. Sanctuary gives us a place to pause and look at the reality of what is going on around us and within us. To take a step back and see things as they really are, rather than merely as we wish them to be or as we fear they will be. Sanctuary gives us space to grieve, to bring to light the deep losses that we are feeling, to experience them fully, and to hold them in community with others. And sanctuary enables us to lean into the possibility of hope, to find ways of thinking, living, and acting that are healing and restorative. In our current era of hate and fear-based politics, of increased hostility and violence toward the most vulnerable among us, in this era of raw, seething anger and greed, places of sanctuary are needed more than ever before. When we feel beaten down by the world, when we feel that everything that we value and stand for has just been kicked to the curb, it's good to have this church as a place of sanctuary, a place where we know that we will be loved and valued for who we are, a place where we can draw strength from one another, a place where we can work to build a resistance movement to counter the prevailing culture of fear and hatred in which we currently find ourselves. It is in places like our own sanctuary, brave spaces, open-hearted spaces, radically inclusive spaces, that the tide will start to turn. I hope and pray that our sanctuary will continue to be just such a place where the right hand called just and the left hand called holy will work together, a place where love will correct that which revolts against love, a place where righteousness and peace will kiss. May it be so. Amen.
Please rise again in body and spirit to join in singing Love Will Guide Us.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us, will lead the way on the road from we together.
Please be seated.
Our Share the Plate beneficiary for the month of November is the Hugh Lane Wellness Foundation, which was founded in 2017 to improve the health of the LGBTQ+ and HIV communities. They offer a variety of services and resources to these communities, as well as expert training for organizations to improve their capacity to serve the LGBTQ+ clients and staff. You can make a gift online on our website or by text at 412-324-3130. We'll be passing our offering baskets for cash and checks in just a moment. If you're writing a check, please make it out to UUCSH and put Share the Plate in the memo line. Thank you so much for your generosity.
There's been a lot of singing in the sanctuary this week for comfort, for resilience, for resistance, and I'm inviting you guys to sing with us one more time. This song is called We Sing to Live. The choir is going to sing through the melody once, and then we invite you to join in on the subsequent goings through.
Please join me in saying the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Just a couple of things before we have our closing words. By way of trying to practice what we preach, we're still sort of all recovering from this past week and the various feelings that each of us has had. And to that end, we're trying to provide some space for people to gather together. There is an art drop-in happening here tomorrow night at 6:30 that everyone is welcome to come to. You don't even have to make art, but if you want to bring something to do with your hands, you're welcome to do that. We'll also start moving toward taking action in the weeks and months ahead. There's a march that's planned for January 18th in Washington, and we're going to be there. We've already rented a couple of buses, and we'll share some information about how you can get on the bus with us if you want to. There are also going to be other things that we're going to be doing as we come up with a plan for how to move forward in a time that looks very different from what many of us had hoped just a week ago. For now, we'll close with these words. When all is quiet and we are small and the night is dark, may we hear the tender breathing of all who lie awake with us in fear, that together we may gather strength to live with love, with kindness and confidence. Go in strength, go in courage, go in peace.